Do I miss teaching? No. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. In today's video, you guys, I'm gonna be sharing by your guys' request some teacher horror stories that I've experienced, and you guys, some you would just be like, whoa. But in today's video, I'm just gonna be sharing with you guys a story, my experience, all of that stuff, and why I just made the decision to discontinue, no longer want to teach. And you guys wanted to basically kind of share just in detail, like, you know, what's it like, pros and cons, all of that stuff, my experience, and a possible teacher horror story. But in the meantime, make sure you guys are following me on my Instagram and subscribe here at my channel. So if you guys want to hear some very horrifying teacher experience slash story, then keep on watching. So I kind of just wanted to just basically start out the video just sharing my educational credentials. I have 3 degrees in education. So I have 2 degrees. One is a arts and science degree and associates of teacher education, pre-K through 8th education, and then the second one is also a associate's arts and science degree and psychology with a specialization in social work, and I have a bachelor's in elementary education. And you know, I've had previous experience working as a teacher assistant and a lead teacher. I've been kind of had the experience of teaching for quite some time, for almost like 6 years now. So yeah, so I first started out as a teacher assistant, then you know, of course, attended ODU for additional 2 more years, and then an extra year for my internship, and was a teacher assistant. Then I became a lead teacher, and then I had Pharaoh, and then I went to a teacher assistant, and then I am at home now as a stay-at-home mom and a mom and lifestyle vlogger for you guys here on YouTube and on my Instagram. So that's a little backstory of it. As a teacher assistant, you do need to have like an associate's degree, pass the Pro assessment if you don't have an associate's degree, and also you need to have a CDA, or you just depend on where you work. Like daycare facilities, I think you could be a high school graduate. You necessarily don't need to have like a particular qualification to be an assistant teacher. It just all depends. You just need to do your research, and to be a teacher such as a kindergarten or elementary educator, you do need to have a bachelor's or higher to work in the public education sector. Or associate's degree, you can work like at, you know, a daycare, a preschool, a Head Start program, anywhere. But again, just make sure you do your research, because every state has various different guidelines pertaining to those specifics. For me, I was a teacher assistant at a preschool, so I've never taught at a daycare. It was just more at a preschool for me, and then of course worked in a elementary school. For me, how I basically did my education to become a teacher, I did my 2 years at a community college. That's how I obtained my associate's degree, and then finished off my last 2 at a university to obtain my bachelor's. So in the meantime, when I was attending school to obtain my bachelor's, I was able to work at a preschool or something in the same, I guess, area of what I was going to school for, as in becoming a teacher. So basically, as a teacher assistant, while attending my last 2 at a university, I was kind of getting my foot in the door for me to prepare myself to overall have my own classroom. And again, I've worked in other teacher classrooms, I've had my own classroom, so I have a little bit of both experience. For me, at the preschools that I worked with, it was never the term of teacher assistant. It was like as a co-teacher. For me, I really like that term better. And for me, you know, I don't really like how some people may view teacher assistants as like, you know, like they don't matter, because they do. And for me, like that is what I feel when it comes with like various schools. Even a few that I work with, actually one that I actually was an assistant in, they view teacher assistants as like, you know, like they just like as if they don't matter. Like it's not just all about the teachers, it's also about like, you know, the TAs, the teacher assistants, the cafeteria and staff members, the custodians, like they all matter. And I feel like, you know, some schools, they put all their focus on the teachers rather the, you know, other employees and stuff that also creates and makes the school as well. For me, as a teacher assistant, my experience, you know, it was a good one, I would say. I'm being honest, it was a good one. Sometimes I was like, you know, what am I doing? Like, I've had one teacher that kind of treated me as like the person that was just there to clean up, not really help assist her. So that was like, and this was like my early stage. I had one teacher that I worked with. She was amazing. She would let me take the lead sometimes in the classroom. Not sometimes, I would say quite frequently. She let me you know, take the lead in the classroom. You know, I learned so much from her. I learned so much from her. For a pro, it's good that, you know, if you are attending school to want to become a teacher, it's giving you a head start, early access of what it is in the classroom, how it feels to be in the classroom, where once you do graduate and do have your own classroom, you have that overall experience. On really for being a teacher assistant, again, it's just like, I feel like it's the lack of recognition, it's the lack of credibility that schools don't really give teacher assistants. One parent, we're like mom friends now. Like I taught her daughter, and you know, every time that it was teacher, like, you know, appreciation week or month, she would give the most beautiful, like, sentimental gifts. And, you know, and I feel like she connected more towards me rather than a teacher. But it was like, you know, she just basically was like, you know, I know sometimes, like, you know, the school or others may not show it to you, but I just want you to know, like, you do matter as a educator. And she was like, you know, I don't even consider you as a teacher assistant. I consider yourself as an educator. And for me, like, that really, like, made me feel better about what I was doing. It's been at a point where it was like, I didn't really appreciate the job that I was doing, and I had many thoughts that where I just wanted to quit. But I was like, you know, I need to not give up on myself. I have to make it work. I have to keep going. I have to work harder to strive better to what I want to achieve. I enjoyed it. I love having my classroom. I love, you know, decorating, you know, for, you know, like different themes, like the holidays, like Christmas, fall, and, you know, different events happening. Me, based off the experience that I've had, I've always wanted to show upcoming future co-educators, you know, just gratitude and just overall showing that I appreciate them and that they matter. So it was kind of more of a team basis. When I was a teacher assistant, the teachers were just all about for themselves, and again, was just kind of made me feel like I was just there to clean up, honestly. You know, for me, I've had, you know, experiences as a teacher where, you know, and also as a co-educator, that, you know, we would work as a team together. So if we're going to create a lesson plan together for the week of the month, here's my ideas, here's her ideas. Put it together, see what we can work with, see what we can maybe scratch off just for the time being, and then come back to it. That's how it was. And for me, that's how I was as a teacher. I would work with that co-educator because I know how it feels starting out. I know how it feels that, you know, you want to have your own classroom. I know how it feels like, you know, where you feel like you're not appreciated or valued sometimes. And speaking of that, when I've had my classroom, I've always expressed our classroom. I've always like expressed share meanings. This is our classroom. We, you know, are welcoming everyone here into our classroom. It was never like, you know, oh, in my classroom, you know, this is my classroom. It was none of that. It was always ours. We together. It was always like that. When you say my classroom or mine, like, and you have a co-educator with you in your classroom, and for them to hear that, it's hurtful for them, because it almost as if like they're in the classroom for what reason? A classroom, like, it's just not your classroom. Like, you know, it's the classroom of the co-educators, the students. It's not just your, like, you know, your classroom. And, you know, I've heard those terms before, and I feel like, honestly, like, some of the teachers would just say it because, you know, it made them feel good, and they made sure I heard that, you know, it was their classroom. And some, you know, would just say it and not really care that I was even there. But for me, and when I had a co-educator, I was like, ours, we, together, to include them, you know. And with my co-educator, I let her take the lead at times. You know, I included her in everything. Any updates, meetings, I included her of. Even meetings or events that didn't pertain to her, she couldn't be invited. I just updated her a little bit in detail of what she had to know specifically. Do I miss teaching? No. I'm being honest with you guys, I really don't miss teaching at all. You know, as a mom, you know, now, and the experience that I've had, I don't miss it. I really don't. I'm just so focused in teaching my son, and that's why we basically started homeschooling with Pharaoh here at home. It's, for me, I know how I am as an educator, so it's like, you know, and with like everything that's currently going on with like the pandemic, and a lot of people are different now, I can't really, I'm not wanting to be in the classroom. Do I miss being in the classroom at a school? Kind of. You know, the people I've met, like, you know, co-workers, some were nice, some were cool, some were fake. And, you know, I just honestly, when I was working as a teacher assistant and stuff, and a teacher, I just didn't really feel appreciated. Not feeling appreciated at all. I just felt like I really didn't want to be there. But, and then also the students was also another reason why I stayed too. When you are an educator, it doesn't matter what your position is. When you are making a difference in a young child's life, it makes you want to strive even harder, because of whatever your educational past was, your background was. If you had a great one, if you had a challenging one, it doesn't matter. And you want to make a difference in another child's life, it makes you want to work harder. And, you know, my heart was into those kids. You know, where it was like, I can't give up on them. I cannot give up on them. No matter the times I wanted to give up on myself. And again, going back to that, I'm not feeling appreciated and wanting to quit. it all fall back on the, you know, the educational learning institution, the school, and, you know, your coworkers, just everything. If they are not presenting a positive, welcoming, equal, appreciative manner of the representations of themselves, it's gonna make you feel like a type of way. Like, if you guys are not showing me the appreciation that I'm spending all my money to provide for the classroom, additional extra pencils, crayons, supplies, art materials, tissues, hand sanitizers, if I'm using all that out my pocket and you guys are not showing me appreciative of it, why am I here? Like, yeah, just talking with this, you guys, my mind is like, it's like that, because I've had so many emotions, so many feelings about teaching for the longest time, and it's like, I feel like I can breathe, most importantly, to want to share this with you guys, and just to talk about it. I don't think that, you know, being a teacher, you know, this is, don't get me wrong, it is a very important job. It is so rewarding. When you go home every day at the end of the day and know that you're, again, inspiring kids, making a difference in their future, it's the most proudest moment you can ever have. But it's always not like that. Like, people, again, don't see the hard work that teachers have, and, you know, the late nights, the extra work they have to put out, the last minute material that they have to put out because the, you know, the educator, you know, like the head of the school, the principal wants you to incorporate this in the lesson plan or whatever in your material at the last minute. They don't see the amount of money that teachers put out from their pockets to fund for their classroom to make it so bright and cheery and welcoming and fun and engaging. They don't see all that in the tears, the tiredness. Like, they don't see all that. Guys, I've cried so many times. I feel like I've cried every night. And I just had questions, like, I just questioned myself, especially going to sleep, of like, you know, is this the right job for me? If this is my passion, is this the right one for me? Why am I feeling this? Why am I questioning this? Why am I thinking this, like, every single night? But I'm not feeling happy. So, teacher horror story. Okay, so I have a few, and I'm going to go ahead and just share particularly one. I had a co-teacher with me, and you know, we hit it off kind of okay. It was like we had our good moments, and then we had our bad moments with each other. I think for me, I don't like when people are not real and not being honest, nor is putting in the effort of what you are providing. I mean, she was a nice lady. She was a little bit older, but she was a nice lady. You know, she was working at that school for a really long time. I think from what everyone told me, she was like the only teacher that first started with the school that was there. So she's been there for a long time. All right, sorry guys, my light just shut off, so I'm just gonna do this video without it. Like I was saying, I had my trainings, which were in the summer. There were 2 to 3 weeks before the school year actually started. She wasn't there. I think she was like on summer vacation or whatever. The teachers that were there that worked with her prior, have just been there with her in general, they were just kind of telling me, like, you know, oh, you're working with her, like, you know, just to let you know, you know, she's not really a worker. She's gonna let you do all the work, gonna let you take all of everything. And I'm like, what? Like, I barely don't even know you guys just yet, and you guys are just telling me about the co-teacher. So I was like, okay. So already with that, I was like, what am I doing? Like, I had requested to work with another teacher instead, and it was actually the teacher that was telling me about, you know, the one that I worked with, but they were like, they already had a teacher already with her already hired, so it was basically too late. So it's like, man. So I was like, she can't be all that bad. I mean, you know, we'll see how it is. I think I was supposed to meet her before we had the back to school night. She still didn't came, so I'm like, well, who is she? Like, who's this person I'm working with? To get prepared for, like, you know, parents and the students to come see their teachers in classroom. I did all that stuff. I put out all new decor in the classroom. I wrote all the new students' names on their desks, like their labels. I did all that stuff. I cleaned the classroom with whatever stuff that, you know, was just old, or I was like, why is it even here, and just throw it away. I did all that by myself. She didn't even come at least once. Nothing. And you know, my friends, like, you know, the other teachers, like, they're walking by, like, you know, do you need help? I'm like, I'm okay, like, I got it. And overall I did well. I mean, I did as much as I could for the time, but you guys, like, I was just feeling the type of way, like, you know, why do I have to do all this by myself if you're gonna also be in the classroom with me? And, you know, I just basically didn't want her to be taking the credit for anything. The first time I saw her was actually for the welcoming night. That was the first time I met her. So it was already kind of awkward with that. But I was like, I'll just give her the benefit of the doubt, whatever, cool. So the first week of school, well, basically, before I get into that, wasn't really a lot of discussion about what or how things were going to get done, as in pertaining to teaching the students. I had my stuff already prepared to teach, but I was like, what are you going to prepare to teach, or how you want to do this? I'm a big communicator. I'm all about teamwork. We took back and forth of weeks. I did an awesome job, you guys. I did amazing. So yeah, so for a while we were still learning about each other. She learned some things from me. I really didn't learn anything from her to take back, as in, you know, teaching and stuff like that. But I would have to say maybe at least a month after school officially started, you guys, she was constantly leaving to go home in the middle of the school day, like during teaching. Like, the director would call her and be like, you know, oh, like, you know, yada yada yada, you gotta go. This was happening every single day. She had to leave like almost every other single day, and it was like I just, like, it kind of just threw me off a little bit, because like when she would leave, she wouldn't show or tell me what her lesson plans are. It was just scattered, so I had to hurry up to like come up with something based upon her end to do something. I wasn't prepared. It was last minute. It was just out of the blue. And then so I was already starting to get a little annoyed. I would have to say I was at this school for almost quite a year, but I would have to say a few months after the new year started, that's one thing I was like, I'm tired. I am done. It was too much for me. She was starting to slack, and I don't do well with slackers. So you guys, I was like, I'm done. So she went on a vacation during Christmas break, so we were gone for 2 weeks. She was supposed to show up after Christmas holiday break, but she did not. Came back after the new year from the holiday season break. That was around the time where it was for assessments for students, you know, that half year mark for assessments for parent-teacher conferences to get prepared of. He wasn't prepared of that at all. They actually had to have a co-teacher, another one, come in there in the classroom with me for ratio and just to help me out and stuff like that. We just did the assessments ourselves on the kids. Once she returned back, she was like, "You did all these?" I was like, "Yeah, I did all the kids' assessments." And she was like, "Oh, well, I don't have to worry about doing anything." And I'm like, that already irked me already, because I'm like, we're supposed to be a team. You take half a group, you take the other half. And, you know, I just felt like I was just basically there to do all of her work additionally, plus my own. So I had enough of it. So we had a meeting with the assistant director of the school, because she must have brought to her attention that, you know, she felt like things between us were changing. It was different, which it was, but I didn't let that affect the kids at all. Like, I didn't let the kids see any of that. I didn't let them feel any of that. Whatever is going on between us as co-workers, that happens when the kids are not in the classroom, nor are they involved. So basically, she was telling me how she felt. I was telling her how I felt about her. And she started crying because she was like, she never would have thought I would have said things about that to her. And I'm like, yeah. And it was truth. Like, you know, it was just, you know, you are leaving in the middle of the day during your instruction time. You're not basically providing me any details of what's going on, even when I ask you about your lesson planning. Things was just scattered everywhere. The breaks, basically, I feel like I'm doing all the work. You are not doing anything to take in your end. I was being honest, and I just made a decision for me. I cannot take it. I just made a decision to no longer work there. I gave my professional notice in 2 weeks, and I just was like, I couldn't take it. Yeah, the parents of the classroom, they liked me better, and we're friends, like, you know, on social media, and we still keep in touch and everything like that. But they can tell like who was the hardworking teacher and who was the slacker in this case. And they could tell that basically all the work was being done by me, and it didn't make sense if it was all done by me if there was also another co-teacher in the classroom. And this video is not to discredit any educators out there. I just want to tell you guys that you guys are amazing. You guys are making a difference in every child's life. So always know that teaching is just not, it's not for everyone. Trust me, if you have a discussion with a retired teacher and she's taught for like 20 something years, she will have so many stories to tell you, all the experiences she's experienced, the crying she's had, just all those things. Like, you know, she'll tell you, even someone like me that's only been teaching for like 6 years, like, you guys, like, teaching is a great job, but, you know, as in a rewarding, positive way, but it's very challenging, and a lot of people don't really understand nor see that. So I hope my video, if you guys enjoyed this video, give this video a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, you guys.